Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We are looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com. Shamelessly displaying my state of mind, but you walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight. That old crazy uncle that you're afraid is going to live upstairs in your house is here. Good morning. That's right, Uncle Lauren. I only said that because I spent the weekend with some of my nieces and nephews. We'll get into that in a minute. We did a television special as a family on Saturday. And yeah, one good thing, you know how when family, well, especially black families, get together and be in the living room and stuff, in the kitchen, wherever, everybody be trying to out-talk each other, be louder, 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 louder. They didn't do that. I couldn't believe it. It was absolutely fabulous. I did have to get on one of them. As always, it wouldn't be the same if I didn't. But anyway, I'm going to tell you about that so you can get over and watch the replay. One of my nieces and one of my nephews, they're cousins. They wrote a book together about the ABCs of dating a black woman or a black man. And we're going to tell you a little bit about that later. So welcome back. You had your little long weekend. Now I see everybody, including our guest today, backstage yawning. Y'all can't wake up. Yeah, one little day to yourself. See what happens? That's okay. We're here today fulfilling one of the greatest guarantees in the universe, the one that promises us that where two or more of us comes together, and we've got that heart set, that mindset, that desire to be of service to others, if you will, to ease suffering in the world. Spiritual magic comes. That's what happens. That's the bell of purpose. I ring it every day on purpose, with purpose, because just like that bell has a ring to it, you guessed it. So does the truth. And I don't want you to miss it. Also at this time, welcome. She's here. This is my sidekick, Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. She's been here all 8 years with me. Oh, I love me some Lucy, especially when she tastes like coffee. Yes. So I had a wonderful weekend. You guys know I've been on the road in May, week after week after week after week after week. And today's guest is one that I met way back. I've been on 4 trips since then. And I was in New York City for the Black Young Professionals Summit and met a lot of great people. But only one of them is on the show since then. And she's here today, so that ought to tell you something, right? Yes, that's right. Susie St. Ville, right? I know you're like, what do you call her? What her name is? That's my Aunt Dot. That's how Dot. She just is country. What he say her name is? Right. Susie. That's right. St. Ville. I love it. She is an up and coming everything, an influencer, game changer. She is about to enter law school, and she's a young Black professional. She volunteered, you guys, a heart of service. She volunteered. She was out front. I think the very first face I met when I came up them stairs after getting up at the crack of dawn to get to New York City. So what a great way to start that event. And here she is. I just want to tell you guys real quick before we get her in here. This past weekend was one of the most incredible experiences of my professional life as a speaker to date. Seriously. I mean, where is it? It's over there. Hold on. Some of you might remember, a few years ago, I was able to keynote at the Star Trek convention in Las Vegas, and that was a great experience. Excuse me. Tons of people, but my most favorite opportunity to speak was this past Sunday. I was at the Fieldcrest High School in Minot, Illinois. 66 kids graduated, and they come from 5 different communities that all come to one school. That shows you how small it is, right? But these were the same kids who voted to bring me in. They were my 3rd speech of my career. They were 6th graders. When I started this work, they were 6th graders. And would you believe they remembered and have followed me and brought me back for their commencement speaker on Sunday. Those kids right there. And I'm telling you, I'm just go through some of the pictures and the gym was just filled. I went back in the room where they were getting dressed, and I had to let them know how honored I was that they would remember me all those years. They were little kids and remembered me now as they move into this next phase of their life and thought enough of me to bring me back. And, a lot of us, honestly, and I'm going to get our guest in here, we spend our journey hoping for that day, when they read our eulogy, that people will remember us after we're gone or whatever. But you know what? How you know if they remember you when you're gone? If they remember you while your ass is still here, Let me tell you something. I had no idea that would feel so good until it happened. So do something memorable so you can feel what I felt Sunday when I was honored by these great students and these scholars of tomorrow and today. Can I get an amen? Put one on the screen. You shouldn't be scared. Wait a minute. I'll kick it off. There it is. Can I get an amen? Amen. So, Susie, that hallway you got to come down is slippery, and I know she in some heels because they was dressed to the hilt up in New York City. Let me tell you. Anyway, here she comes. Put your hearts on the screen, won't you, please? This is how we welcome our guests virtually. It's our standing ovation because guess what? Here she comes. SSV. Not SWV, SSV. Dang, y'all. Susie St. V.
Hello.
That's what I'm going to call you, Susie St. V.
I like that.
Be Susie St. V.
I've been great. This weekend was much needed. Much needed weekend.
Uh-oh. What'd you do?
Rested.
That's
Just
what a lot of
rest.
people are saying.
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot on the plate of a young entrepreneur, law student, boom, boom, boom. Listen, welcome to the show. So good to see your face again. You're looking great.
Thank you.
Clearly the rest agrees with you. If you went by this throw rug of a face, you probably need to go back to sleep. Look, I'm gonna tell you what, it was hard to get up today. It was hard, and I was in the health club. I was like, I'm glad hardly any people were there today. I was like, good, because I can cut up 2 or 3 off, but then I felt guilty, and had to do what I usually do. But yeah, I'm glad you're here. Did you spend time with family, or where were you?
Yeah. So my sister, she's graduating from high school this year, so we spent time together because we're gonna be separate for a while. So.
Oh, so were you born and raised in the New York area, New York City?
So I was born in Haiti actually, and I came here when I was really young to New York, and I grew up in Harlem.
So you came when you were really young, as opposed to now as an old woman.
Yeah, well, because I came in 2001 or 2000, and now I'm 27. So
Wow. Okay. And you guys live in what part of New York City?
Harlem.
Harlem. I went to Harlem when I was there the first time. Did you meet my coaching client that was at the event, Dr. Lynn?
No,
okay,
I didn't get a chance to.
She lives in the Bronx, but her and her son Justin took me to Harlem to an Ethiopian restaurant.
Ooh.
Over there, and it was really good. My first time experiencing that, so that was nice. So, have you been to the Apollo?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah. I actually went to the Apollo to see. It was like the premiere of the Ava DuVernay movie that was on Netflix about the exonerated 5, I believe.
Yeah.
I went to see that premiere there, so yeah, it was intense, but a good experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you see that wood thing everybody used to touch? Is that still there? The good luck piece of wood.
I don't even remember.
You don't remember?
I don't know. No.
I want to go there. I wish they still had the show, the variety show. Remember? You don't know
where they booed people?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, I think they still might have that actually. I don't know if it's like as big as it used to be, but I think they still have it.
Man, I mean, because that's historical. A lot of groups got their start at the Apollo. Yes. So listen, not to put you on the spot or anything, but I do it almost every day. I like to dip out for about 60 seconds, and instead of reading, a bio, just let the guest start their own vibe with everybody. Just speak what's on your heart. Tell us what you want us to know and leave out the rest. And then I'll pop back in and we'll get started. Because there's a lot I want to talk to you about what it's like to be facing your future and these big dreams that you have. So go ahead, tell them what you want, and then I'll come back and we'll get started. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I'll be back in 60 seconds.
I'm nervous, you guys, so be nice, but My name is Susie Sainville. I am an incoming 1L at St. John's University School of Law. Uh, I'm extremely passionate about immigration law as well as child protection law, and that's what I want to build and focus my career on at the moment. So that's pretty much about me. I am the eldest daughter of immigrant parents. I'm an immigrant myself. Uh, yeah, and I have a younger sister and an older brother. So,
So you want me to come back? Oh, okay. All
yes.
right. Very nicely done. Nicely done. Let's talk about. Do you? Oh, I love this already, and I didn't plan what we were going to talk about, but let's go with here. Let's go here. Let's start there. Being the first generation
Mhm.
of an immigrant set of parents, a lot of pressure.
Yes, a lot of pressure. I think that um, a lot of immigrants they have a vision of what they think America is, like the United States is specifically, and
Mm-hmm.
so there is a lot of opportunity here, but over in other countries they don't speak about the nuances of like oppression or like how like you know things like white supremacy affect us because a lot of the countries are like I would say homogenous, like everybody is basically the same thing. So here it's a shock because you have to kind of help your parents understand why you're not as what they think is spectacular as what they thought in your head, if that makes sense. So
Mm.
that's extremely hard. Like they're extremely supportive of me in terms of pursuing my education. I don't think they necessarily understand everything that goes with, like
Yeah.
socioeconomic disparities, I would say.
Well, no. Even I'm saying, what'd she say? Right. Wait. So, okay. So let me ask, let's go back to the beginning. How old did you say you were when you transplanted?
Uh, about
Oh,
two-ish.
so you don't remember that. Okay. You don't remember that. So you don't even, okay. So you basically, this is all you know.
Yeah, yeah. People
Now,
say I have an insane New York accent.
did you say you were the oldest of your
Well,
siblings?
I'm the eldest daughter, but the middle child, so I get it both. A
So
lot
your
of
other siblings, do they remember living in Haiti, the older ones?
So my brother actually he lives well he does because he lives in the Dominican Republic, so it's like uh kind of like still fresh for him. And my
Yes.
younger sister, she's 17, so she definitely doesn't. But we visited Haiti before, like for my 21st birthday. I did a lot of charity work in Haiti for the children because my birthday is on Christmas, so that's like an ideal time to like give back.
Oh my
So
goodness, you have a holiday birthday. And
yeah.
I do too.
When's your birthday?
Only the best holiday to have a
Mm.
birthday. I'm going to just say, because Christmas, wait a minute. Here's why I don't want Christmas. Here's your birthday and your Christmas present all in one.
Mm. And even though sometimes not even that.
My birthday is the party jam.
Wait, is it 4th of July?
Yes. So a lot of people think when I say that I'm talking about New Year's Eve or New
No,
Year's
because
Day.
like you could throw something on the grill for your birthday. It's like so exciting.
At every place you go in the world, well, not the world, in the United States, people are celebrating.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's great. And it's always cool when you run into people that whose birthday are that. I saw someone yesterday. I was at my friend Martha's house, his daughter Sophie. Her birthday is the 4th. And we were like, yeah, you have this kindred spirit. Like you, when you meet people who are
Yes,
born on Christmas, you're like,
yes.
right, okay. And then they always go, you're born on Christmas?
Yeah, you're a
Like
Christmas
nobody was
baby?
born, right? So how exciting. So let's go into this thing though. Did your parents, how early do you remember the conversation about why we moved here? And
Ooh.
we gave up this, and even those of us who have lived here all our lives and are not immigrants, so to speak, since the motherland, have those stories about when I was your age, I had to walk 8 miles to school in the dead of winter. Right. So talk about what the expectations were. Are they the same now? Do your parents still have the same expectations, or have they kind of mellowed a bit?
You know what? I have my parents are a little bit older than like most of my peers' parents. So my dad is about like 66. So
Ooh, young
um
guy.
yeah, he's young
I'm
like
61, so yeah,
in
agree with
in
you.
life. He's young in life, but
Yeah.
I they had me a little bit older, and I think their priority was always education because of the fact that some like my mother had a lot of siblings, I believe about like 10, and they had to kind of pick who would go to school. And that was always
Mhm.
like an insecurity for her because she always said like if I was able to reach all my goals, I would probably be a doctor and things like that. But she had to make some sacrifices because there were a lot of children. So when we came to the United States, I came to the United States with my mother first, and my dad came after. So she always prioritized my education. If there was something I needed to get done, she would find a way to pay for it. Like I went to like Catholic schools and private schools for most of my life because of that. She wanted to make sure
Wow.
I was able to get a proper education.
So yeah, and that's the sacrifice. So many immigrant
Yeah.
parents, especially first generation, they just, they do whatever it is they have to do. And here's the thing that I did not know, that there are people who moved here, immigrants who came here, who were doctors and lawyers and things in their countries. But because they're not licensed and stuff here, a lot of them came and went right to work as, maids or janitors or whatever they had to do, so
Yeah.
that their children, like you, would have these opportunities. I had never considered such. So when you hear your mom talk about her sacrifice of perhaps being a doctor or whatever her dream would have been, um, does it help you, fight through when you feel like I can't do this? Or is it like, oh God, do I need any more pressure? How do you
Oh,
use it for your benefit?
I would say that honestly, it's not even her like I don't want to say lost dreams. It's not that inspire me. It's the fact that my mother was a teacher when she was in Haiti, but when she came here, basically everything was kind of null and void. So she went back to school and eventually became an RN. So and she's a registered nurse, and
Wow.
yeah, and she did that a little bit later on in life. And I think that that's more inspirational than anything because even
Yeah.
for me, I know people who they go to law school very early, like 21, and right now I'm 27 as an incoming 1L, and sometimes that leads to a little bit of insecurity because I'm like, oh, how will my life look in the next 3 years because of the fact that I am going to law school a little bit later, and to see her like kind of push through, like while my sister was like a baby or like while I'm in school and still make it, I think that was more inspirational than anything. And it taught me like there's not an age on education. And if you stop learning, your brain starts dying. I don't know if we could say that word like unaliving or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, you can. You
Yeah.
can. Oh, hi, Big Brian, Big Country. How are you? Good morning, brother. Good
Good
morning,
morning,
Robert Brooker,
everyone.
Ricky Williams, and all the rest of you out there. There you go. Good morning, fam. Listen, let me ask you this. Um, I have so many questions. Well, let's go to the thing when you said about a little later. So, did you take time off? What? So, what was that all about? Let's talk about the finding my way to where it is I want to go. Uh,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. So I would say like I was on like a clear path. So I graduated from college and I started like taking the LSAT, but unfortunately with the pandemic, school was going to be online and I don't thrive in like a digital. Honestly, I do everything by paper and pen still. So I like to be in the class. So I don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
virtual would have worked for me. So I decided to take some time off before going to law school until I knew the model would be ideal for me to sit in a classroom for the next 3 years. So that's kind of why it took me a little bit longer because I didn't want virtual learning.
How was the LSAT, by the way?
Um, it it's not to be dramatic, it's the worst experience of my life. I feel like it leads to a lot of insecurity as well because feel like I'm intelligent. I'm a great writer. I understand things logically. But when you take the test, it's timed and it's in a way that is not always culturally, I don't want to say sensitive. It's not culturally sensitive to like how everybody's raised. So there's certain language that I would not know, especially since I had to learn English in in school myself. Like I didn't speak English for a very long time when I was younger. So sometimes I still think in a different language.
What
So
did you speak?
I spoke Creole, Haitian Creole. And I had to learn how to basically speak English on my own because there weren't a lot of resources in school for people who don't speak Spanish, if that makes sense. Like if you're like ESL but you don't speak Spanish, there's not a lot of catering to you.
Right.
So I kind of had to learn how to read, write, and speak in English by myself.
So, can I ask a question about Haitian Creole?
Yeah, sure.
Is that like a French, like Creole is in New Orleans? Is it like
Yeah,
based
well,
on?
yeah. Well, originally in Haiti, the only language that was I that was recognized as an official language was French, but Haitian Creole is just like I would say like a derivative of French, but now it's its own language, like
Oh
its
wow.
own, yeah, and its own culture, own language, and it is officially a language in Haiti now, which is a great thing. Mhm.
Do they speak it in your family at home? Do you guys still speak both languages?
Yeah, I don't speak French as much. Uh, anymore. Like if I went to Paris a couple years ago, like that helped me out knowing to speak some French, but I mostly do speak Haitian Creole because it's part of my culture, so I try to, stick with that.
Okay, remember what you said about the law school test being the worst experience ever?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you that question again. Can you please answer it in your native tongue? I just
Uh,
want to hear it.
uh Let me see if I can.
Okay,
Okay.
let me ask you an easy one.
Examine.
Let
Okay.
me ask you an easy one. Um, which meal do you enjoy the most? Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Ooh.
In Haitian Creole, please.
You know what's crazy about Haitian Creole? Like the word would be like I enjoy breakfast. I would say petit déjeuner, but that's also French, so it would be breakfast.
Okay, so if I was going to Haiti
Hmm.
and I was using Duolingo or some app, would I need an app or do most people in Haiti speak English as well? Because I did not know. And a lot of people, we see a lot of stuff, I do anyway, where people are going and going over to Haiti when there's something going on or,
Hmm.
humanitarian aid, boom, 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 boom. And you never hear people say, oh my God, I wish I would have learned the language first. So are a lot of the Haitian people able to speak English as well, just naturally?
I will say this. I think because there are people who visit Haiti. There's a lot of people in Haiti that are like polyglots. They speak like English, French, Haitian Creole, and Spanish. So the people that I've met, they will accommodate you. Of course, they want people to feel like like they belong, so they would accommodate you. But it's nice to know a couple of words, like in case someone just doesn't know. Like there are certain places where
Mm-hmm.
they don't get a lot of outside
Mm-hmm.
interaction, so they mostly speak Haitian Creole. So maybe a couple words would be nice, but there's probably going to be someone that can speak English and help you out.
So in your household, do your parents ask or talk a lot in it and you have to answer, but your siblings and you all speak English and only you have only when you're spoken to in Haitian you respond? How, I mean, just saying.
I think my mom, yeah, we speak a lot of Haitian Creole in home because my mom is like her goal is to make sure we don't lose our culture.
There you
So she's
go.
like, yeah, like that's how like her goal. She's like, you're supposed to know how to speak it, and when you have children, you should teach it to them. And I want to make sure I honor her that way. So we do speak. Me and my sister, when we speak amongst each other, it's more like a mix of like Haitian Creole and English. But with my parents, I
Okay.
speak
So what
Creole
other
mostly.
things fall into that category that you feel you will honor your mother and your yeah, not just your mother and father, but your heritage in? So what I'm getting at as far as like traditions, recipes,
Mm-hmm.
rituals, things like
Okay.
that. Share some of that if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, so I will say one thing that I have to keep is my favorite. I guess it would be like it's not a condiment, but it's like a side. It's called pickles. It's like a pickled cabbage that we make. It's so tasty.
The only reason I
It's
said that is because a pickled cabbage that I know about, cabbage,
no, it's not pickled. Yeah, it is pickled cabbage actually.
you
It's
ever had
great.
kimchi?
No, it's kind of like kimchi. They call it like the Haitian kimchi. They call it like Caribbean kimchi.
That's what made my face, because not that I tasted it, but
No,
when
of
I
course.
was in a college situation and I was living on campus, but in a house on campus,
Yeah.
and one of the it was a professor. She had a whole bunch of rooms for rent, and there was a guy there that made that kimchi, and
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die!" Because so I've never tasted it, to be fair, but so it's good, huh?
It's very good. It's just vinegar and a bunch of like vegetables. I think and I know how to make it. I've been kind of prioritizing learning to make Haitian cuisine recently, so I know how to make like the red snapper in like a Haitian style. I don't know how to make rice, which is insane as a Haitian person, but other than that, I'm pretty good at making like the fish meals that Haitian people enjoy to eat. So,
Ooh,
no, I'd like to
Outlandish
keep that.
History said they love them some kimchi. You do? Outlandish History? Really? Why? Okay, Outlandish History. Did you visit the country? Is that where you were indoctrinated into your love of kimchi? I'm just curious. Because I think you should smell it. I mean, you should taste it before you smell it. So if someone says you want to try some kimchi, go like this, then eat it. I'm just saying. Okay, so let me ask you this, Susie St. V. What about stories and
Mhm.
things like that about ancestry? And when you look around the house where you grew up, what things did you that stand out that your parents brought specifically to? They say, "And here in my hand, I hold the golden scepter from your great, 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 great." You get the point.
Yeah. I think, like, I don't know. I think in my family, unfortunately, there's a lot of hush hush history. Like, people don't really talk about things. I think the one piece of history my mom kind of keeps up with is clothing. Like, she has a lot of pieces that she got from her travels while throughout Haiti, because Haiti is like pretty big. Like, there's a lot of different areas, different cultures. And so she's very proud of the clothing that she has. She'll be like, I've had this for 30 years and it looks so brand new, and like she's that kind of person. So I think her history is through clothing. I would say we don't have like a traditional garment or anything, but the clothing that we like she's accumulated from different artisans in Haiti is something she takes a lot of pride in.
So
Yeah.
when you meet a person who is
Hmm.
fresh, I don't want to say that. That's a horrible thing to say. Let me ask you how you feel about that. When you hear somebody say they're fresh off the boat.
You know what? I've never thought about it, so it doesn't offend me. So I've never
So you don't
thought
think
about it
that's
because
offensive?
I came on a plane. I will say like in terms of privilege, I did come on a plane, so I don't know how
See
to
what I'm
feel about
saying?
that. So I can't
Right.
like yeah.
And I know they always make it seem like you escaped and snuck in
Yeah,
the
exactly.
middle of the
No.
night.
No, I have
Well,
like
let's talk about that because that is a big deal. Haitian refugees.
yes. Hmm.
How does that? Have you ever met a Haitian refugee?
Actually, so me and my mom, we like kind of went through immigration like the traditional way, but my father is actually a refugee. Because he was running from like political persecution in Haiti. So uh, that so I have that little bit of experience. He's pretty much yeah, he had to kind of escape for his life because of um, with President Einstein. That was like years ago. There was a lot of like political turmoil and a lot of like coup d'etats and things like that. So he kind of had to escape them.
Do you when if you were in a room with a person who, let's say, lived in Haiti as recently as last year, would
Hmm.
you feel intimidated? I mean, would you feel like you were as Haitian, or do you feel you're more Americanized? And they're like, you ain't Haitian.
You know what's crazy about that? My mom always tells me that I'm not Haitian. I think it's people think because I have like I no longer have like a Haitian accent and I have like more of like a New Yorker's accent or an American accent, they kind of like discredit my Haitianness, I would say. But
Your
what they,
Haitianality.
yeah, my Haitianality.
We just
So
made a word, I
I
think.
love it though.
I
I
do
like
too.
that. Yeah, I like it. I would say I don't feel insecure at all because they usually kind of look at me kind of like a pet. They're like, "Oh, you speak really well." Like, for someone who hasn't been here since you were a child, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I just appreciate them appreciating that I am still in touch with my culture, but I know I'm not as traditionally or culturally Haitian as someone else
As someone
now
else.
because I am. Yeah, I know.
However, there is
Mhm.
this little crudité, the piece
Mhm.
of which I'm sure your parents, it didn't miss them, and it is an honorable piece that they are just so proud of, whether they express it completely or not. And what I'm getting at is that even though you've chosen to pursue law, you've chosen immigration law as
Yeah.
your specialty. Talk about that and why. What do you hope to impact or change as far as and why? Why did you choose it? Seriously.
I will say, from the research that I've done and overall just personal experience, because I've had to deal with, immigration myself with myself and my father, I would say immigration law as it is at this very moment is extremely predatory. Uh, it's literally a quick buck. Like even if you look into like, I'll give you an example. Like if you go like to the National Visa Center and they call you, they say like there's a visa waiting, like they have a visa available. They will literally make you pay a fee. It's like probably like $750. Say for example, if their website is down and you can't access it and your application is starting to, lapse or something, they will make you pay that fee again. And then if you have a lawyer, every time you go to the lawyer's office, they will make you pay for stuff and they make no progress on it. And by no, I don't mean like in terms of them doing research or filling out forms for you. There's no progress. They do literally nothing until it's like too late. And it's a lot of like putting out fires instead of, preventing any fires in terms of the immigration space because there's a lot of money to be made with the laws and how the landscape in the United States is changing for immigration law. So that's why I think it's extremely predatory and I'd like to be able to, you know, help out in that way. I don't know if there's a lot of programs that focus on like pro bono work or just overall
Mhm.
like I'm not trying to be super altruistic about it, but I just want to do better in the immigration space and make it less
Ultra who
predatory,
is? I'm kidding.
altruistic.
I know. I'm just kidding. But let me ask you,
Yeah,
Susie. So you know you're 27. You
yeah,
waited. You waited. Took the time to
yeah,
get into law school,
yeah,
and you know, even though I do know people who have done this or went to medical school or whatever, and then later they change up.
yeah.
But you're pretty certain this is what you want to do. Does it ever feel like that's a pretty large apple that you're gonna have to bite on and chew on or to make a difference? And when you see yourself serving people through
Hmm.
this opportunity,
Yeah.
what do they look like? The people that you serve? Do you hope to help the Haitian population, any immigrant? You see what I'm saying? And what
Yeah.
made you so passionate that you said, that's what I'm going to do? Are you secretly honoring your parents in a
I
way?
think part of it is secretly honoring my parents and another part of it is honoring myself because I'm interested in immigration law but also child protection law. And I will say for me personally growing up, I realized there just wasn't many resources and much care for children who are not like the ideal immigrants or children who just don't like they're not able to have those resources. So I that's why immigration is so important to me because I am an immigrant myself and I want to make sure that there is someone looking out. Like I know there's a lot of money to be made in immigration law. And
Mm-hmm.
then but I'm not thinking about money because I know whatever comes to me will come to me. I just want to be able to say at the end of the day that I did everything I could for whatever community, because my community is not just Black people, it's not just Haitian people, it's human beings. Like,
It's people.
I,
Yes.
yeah. So I don't,
Hallelujah.
yeah. So I don't necessarily care about, like, in terms of race, nationality. I really just want to help people
People.
get to where they have to go. And, like, for example, it is a big apple to bite in terms of going to law school. It's 3 years of me, like, kind of like squashing earning potential. Like, I'm not going to be able to make that much money while I'm in school, but I want to be able to. I don't know what the next 3 years will look like in my life and how it will end, but I know that at the end of the day, I want to prioritize, like, children and
Yeah.
what they go through, and they're always going to be top priority on the list, no matter what the world looks like, because
I
they
hear
didn't
you.
ask to be here, and I just want to be able to give, like,
Support them.
younger Susie support. Like, in my head, I'm like honoring younger Susie by giving support to whoever needs it in that way.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this piece. Because I've seen it a couple of years ago. My husband and I were spokespeople for a pride campaign on television. And we had to sit in these directors' chairs and tell our little stories about Stonewall in New York, back
Yeah,
that started the LGBT movement. And
love
we
it.
neither one of us knew shit. I'm serious. I was
No,
like, Stone what? Never heard of it.
no
Right?
way.
Yes, Wade. And I was like, oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know how I feel about this. So now I've really worked on, and one of the things that stood out to me that my mouth was on the floor for a long time about was how the gays and the lesbians didn't want the what are now known as trans
Mhm.
people in it. We were
Yeah.
against them. And so and then it happened like a couple years ago. I was playing tennis with my friend Daniel Yao, and he goes, and he's Chinese, and he goes, and I was like, hey, I saw something about Asian hate. I never heard of that. Is that real? And his face was like, what? Is it real? Girl.
Mm.
So I want to ask you this, because
Mhm.
I know I've made the mistake.
Mhm.
On the corner are some a family from Puerto Rico, and if you confuse and accidentally say Mexican, oh, you done talked about my mama now. We got,
No, sure.
I got to cut you. I got to cut you. Right now it's
Yeah.
like I'm sorry, it snapped. Oh, don't hit me, right? So I want to ask you this: is there with fellow immigrants
Mhm.
where they look down on certain ones compared to certain ones?
Yeah. a
Like a
hundred
caste
percent.
system in the immigrant world.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that for a minute?
So if we kind of get I don't want to get too deep into history because I don't want to misspeak, but I will say, um, in terms of, like, so let's see, if we look at it in terms of just, like, racism overall, people who look a certain way, are going to be higher on the caste system. And if you go to the Caribbean, like, everybody looks different. There are people that have more African ancestry, some people that have more Indian ancestry, Asian ancestry, in that way. So typically, those people are regarded, a little bit higher in terms of how they look because they don't look traditionally like Black or African, because not everybody in the Caribbean is Black or African of African descent. So there is a hierarchy in that way. And then in terms of money, there's a hierarchy. There are places where, um, they don't have a lot of political, unrest, so they're able to benefit off of, like, tourism spaces. So there is that hierarchy there. Like, say, for example, some place like Haiti, where a majority of people, I would say about 80% or more, we have some of, like, the purest African, like, we have like, pretty clear line to our African descent, because that was, like, a priority for Haitian people during the revolution to maintain their, like, blackness and their Africanness.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're also, like, one of the less fortunate, countries. So we pretty much fall lower on the totem pole. As beautiful as Haiti is and how as rich as the culture is, we look more traditionally African, and we're also not the richest. So we experience a lot of oppression from other Caribbean islands. Specifically, like if you look at the conflict between the Dominican Republic and Haiti, the history that's being taught on both islands is super conflicting, and the violence that has happened to Haitians in the Dominican Republic is because they are black. Because even Dominican people who are more have more African ancestry, they experience that discrimination harshly because people assume that they're Haitian. So
See,
there is a hierarchy in that way.
that's true. And if we're just going to be completely honest here, when you hear Dominican Republic, you think, "Oh, great destination place."
Mm-hmm.
Everybody talk about they go, "Oh, the people just beautiful. They look
Yeah.
good." I have women friends who said, "Look, girl, they talking to each other. If you go to the Dominican Republic, make sure you take your birth control because they talk seriously. They say
Yeah.
it's so the people there are so beautiful, but then you say Haitian."
And they're like,
Haiti,
whoa.
you think destruction, everything's always falling apart. There's going to be some kind of tsunami or something. You don't want to, some kind of disease.
Exactly.
Okay. And now let's move out of the black immigration pod and move over to another color, brown.
Yeah.
And what about this? Because when you were talking, I was like, you know what? Indian immigrants it seems like things are set up. They get sponsored, they come and they buy hotels and all the gas stations. I'm not trying to sound like a person who is what do you call that when you put people in but it's true, very successful now, and schooling and this, that, and the other, because all of our engineers, they say, and people think they're always doctors and blah blah blah. So I'm just saying. So why do you think it's easy? Why do we see more successful immigrants from the Indian culture than we do, say, the Mexican culture?
Ooh. Well, I would say, especially since both are like brown, like they would count as brown, I would say the reason you see that is because of the whole of Asia has such a rich culture that they have been able to build. They've been able to build their wealth. Of course, there's been outside influence and outside, attacks on them, but they've been able to basically build culture, history, and wealth in one space. And honestly, in India and other countries like that, there are a few families that hold majority of the wealth. But those are the same people that kind of get the carpet rolled out for them when they come here. And then the people, because how do you say, there are people that are just more acceptable minorities, so they are able to get opportunities because of how they look. Like there are Indian people who are extremely fair skinned. They probably have more opportunities in white spaces than someone who is a darker skinned Indian person. And like someone mentioned in the comments, the families work more together. It's very true. There is the idea of a collective when it comes to those families. Like there will be like 3 generations living in one house. And unfortunately, in other cultures now, even though Mexican cultures, they also have that kind of infrastructure, there's also the idea of like gangs and like violence that comes from, you know, many places, and the closest place to escape is the United States. And because you don't look traditionally like a white person, or you're not like conventionally attractive to the white beauty standard, you just kind of fall by the wayside,
Do you feel, as a young person and a future lawyer specializing in immigration law, do you feel that America lives up to her beckoning, as far as this being the land of milk and honey, the land where dreams come true, where anything you want to be, you can be? Now, I'm not just speaking. I know you can only speak from your own, but because you're moving into the immigration space, do you think you need to help fight to make that a truth for all? Because it says it in the Constitution. Because I don't think it's like that right now. Seriously, I don't think it's fair that a person who comes here legally, or is born here, DACA, what is it, DACA, that sort of thing, and they're smart and they're contributing members of society. Why should, because I'm from Mexico, you think I need to clean in the hotel or do landscaping only, or you know what I mean? Whereas if I come from India, you're okay. How soon can you register at Cornell? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what can we do? What do you think we need to do to be more open and more fair? And I want to ask you this, piggyback this for the sake of time. We got about 6 minutes left. What about family members from different immigrant families as far as helping your family that is still there?
Oh, okay, I can answer that really quickly. So I would say that unfortunately in the United States, a lot of people just started off on a bad foot. Like, I don't think at this very moment that the United States government is prioritizing any of the people that live here. If that makes sense. Like, like our healthcare system is not the best. Like, it's very predatory as well. Like, there's a lot of things that are in place that don't work out for anyone. And it's not necessarily about like, oh, if you're here, you can apply to Cornell and here you work as a maid. It's more of the fact that we need to be more holistic in our immigration approach. Like, people are human beings, and this land technically, while it does belong to people, it was a free land before. And so I think we kind of have to go back to that. It's probably not going to happen, but we need to go back to caring about human beings. It's like,
You
if
said you don't think that's going to happen.
no, like I feel like the history has fully shown itself that us as human beings, some of us are a little bit more opportunistic than others. So we will never get to the point where everybody in power is like, oh yeah, we should have free healthcare, free quality healthcare. We should have quality education. We should have affordable housing or even free housing. We're probably never going to get to that point because there's so many sides that don't agree. You understand what I'm saying? So
I
I don't
do.
know if we'll ever get there, but I'd love for us to get there. And I don't know how we would fix it, honestly. Hopefully, one day I'd have a solution to that. And then in terms of like sending money back or supporting your family back home, honestly, at this very moment, I, I don't have much family back home, and I would say I've seen my parents like kind of get taken advantage of when it comes to like sending money and being like the full support for for like kind of grown adults who just are not looking to make full advantage of having that extra income. It's more of like, this is my only income
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
So I think maybe if there could be a change, like specific for me and my family, where it's like, you work, you go to school, I'd be happy to lend you a hand. But I don't believe in like supporting your entire lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work for me. Yeah.
Final question for you.
Yeah.
Out of your own mouth, the words came, and I wanna ask you what that means. What is the status of your citizenship right now? Are you a dual citizen? Are you?
So I am actually a fully American citizen. I was naturalized. Reason I got naturalized was because I wanted to file for my father's visa, and so I needed to be an American citizen for that, and because I was voting in my first election, which was the 2016 election, so I became a citizen in order to vote and
Good.
you
To
know
exercise the freedoms of this citizenship. So
exactly.
the reason I set up this final question with that is this. Even though you are a naturalized citizen of the United States, every time in this past hour that you referred to Haiti, you said back home.
Yeah.
And so I just think that's a beautiful thing. And I think that's the part that should never change. That is the connection that makes it worth it. That will always remind you of where you were, where you've come from, where your ancestors have come from, but it also speaks healing and prosperity into the journey of your ancestors that are moving towards what you leave from the future. And so back home, because home is where the heart is. Yeah. So I think that sums it up nicely there. So when do you officially set foot into the hallowed halls of law school?
In August. So mid-August is when, I'm starting my sentence.
Your sentence. Girl, you better go in there and change this world like I know you're gonna. I just want to thank you so much, Susie Saintville, for coming in and shedding some really great insight here today and opening up and being vulnerable. Thank you so much. You've helped me grow because now I know. And so hopefully I'll take just a little seedling of that and help to show someone else. So thank you so much. Anything you want to leave people with as we get out of here?
Yes. So I want to say, first of all, Dr. Lauren, thank you so much for this opportunity. I really enjoyed speaking to you when I met you, and it was a great chat here as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, and to everyone else, thank you for listening. I'm not perfect, but I'd love to get better and to be able to, contribute to society to help everyone, because that's what it's about. We're human. So, we're a family in ourselves. Like, home is all of us. So
absolutely right. Hey, you guys, now you see why I bring on anyone with a compelling story, but in particular, I absolutely adore when we get a chance to listen and hear from our young people, to have a conversation with them and not just have a conversation at them, because that's not a conversation at all. That's a lecture. So thank you again, and thank all of you. Tomorrow, come on back. Michael Copeland is here discussing his brand new book about the state of the education system for not just people of color, but all people. That's going to be a hot one tomorrow right here. And in the meantime, get out and find your highest self. God willing, I'll meet you tomorrow morning, as always, at 8 a.m. Central over there on the front porch, where we'll have another illuminated conversation. Now, remember, as always, in parting, I tell you, and I still mean it, I love you. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Have the best day ever, and thank you for blessing me with your presence. Have a great one. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Susie. Bye. See you guys soon.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. But you
Hi, I'm Amy Joy with Amy Joy Coaching.